Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back at it again with another how-to video for you. Today I'll be demonstrating a foliage technique that I often use in the salon. I will be combining baby highlights with teasy highlights to get the foliage effect. If that's something that you're interested in, then keep on watching because it's about to happen now and it's about to happen here. Alright, let's get started. So to start off, we're going to be sectioning her hair. What I will be doing is I will be creating a semi-mohawk section in through the crown area, and then I'll have the two quadrants on the side, and I'll just go ahead and part the hair right down the middle and creating two separate sections. And so I'll do that and we'll be right back. Alright, once we section the hair, our section should look like this. So what I've done for the sectioning is I've sectioned the hair into 5 different sections. We have a semi-full hawk section in the top of the head, and then the rest of the hair I split into 4 different sections. So we've got 2 in the back, and then we've got 1 on each side. To begin our foliage, we're going to start in the back here. You'll notice that I use 2 different clips. So I really like these clips. I call them gator clips. I really like them because they hold a lot of hair, but when I'm doing any foil work, I prefer these flat clips. I just feel like they hold the hair more taut as I'm doing my foils, and I'll show you in a minute. So we're going to release this section here, and we're going to be taking a very thin section through the nape area. And so our parting is in a diagonal fashion. Alright, so we're going to take our section here, and what we're going to do is the first 2 foils I'm going to do baby lights with some back combing, and the 3rd foil will be a full panel. And so I'll continue that pattern throughout the head. So 2 baby light foils, 1 full panel, and so on. So to get started, we're going to take our section here, and then we're going to begin to lightly back comb. What I like to do is I like to elevate my section and begin back combing. I feel like it just gives me a better diffused end result. So now that we've got some back combing in there, we're going to take our rat tail comb and we're going to do a very, very fine weave, also known as baby lights. Next, we're going to take our foil and slide it right underneath. And then we're going to take our lightener and deposit it through the ends. And notice I'm placing my product onto the ends with my brush flat. At this point, I just want my product to be placed down. I also like to wiggle to make sure that I'm covering all the strands of hair. And then what I like to do next is I either like to brush upwards to diffuse that, or I like to tilt my brush on the side just for some diffusion. And I'm not taking my lightener all the way to the top because I do want some dimension. I want some darkness through the root area. And as I start working up the head, you'll notice that I will begin to focus my lightener on the outer parts of the sections because I want the brightness to happen through the sides, and I want some depth and dimension in through the middle there. So now that we've got our product in there, we're just going to simply fold. We want to secure our foils, so we'll take our comb and lightly fold the edges here, and we've got our first section. So we're going to continue taking another thin section, and we're going to repeat the same process. So remember, these first 2 foils will be baby lights, and then we'll continue on with the full panel. So again, we're going to take our section, we're going to elevate, we're going to lightly back comb to get some teasing into the root. This will really help with diffusing those harsh lines as we're applying our lightener. Once we've got that in there, we'll take our comb, we'll do a very, very fine weave. We'll grab our foil. Separate the hair. Bring it down. Grab our lightener. Again, placing our lightener down, focusing only on the ends. Wiggling it, make sure that we are saturating evenly. And then we can diffuse upwards. Once we've got all the strands saturated, we're going to fold. We're going to secure our foil so that it doesn't move by folding the edges. There we go. We got our second section. We're going to go for another thin slice. We're going to elevate our section. We're going to back comb lightly. Once we've got that back comb in there, we'll take our foil. Place it right underneath. Now this is a full panel. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place my lightener, focus it on the ends, wiggle it to make sure that all the hair strands are evenly saturated. And then I want to work in this V section. So by doing that, by only lightening in this V section, we get all this rich depth and dimension that's going to look absolutely beautiful once we're done. We're going to fold. And we're going to continue this process all the way up to the hair, including this section here. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I've reached the point where my sectioning is too wide and it's going to be not impossible. I could probably fit this in a foil, but what would end up happening is I would have to bunch the hair, and if you notice, there's a lot of bunching here, and if you don't saturate the strands evenly with lightener, then you're going to get spottiness, and we want to avoid that. So if you do come across this where your sectioning is too wide, totally okay to just split it into two sections and continue with the same method. So if you were following a very light weave, then you would just break it up into two very light weaves sections. And if you were paneling, same thing. If we're doing the full panel, we would apply our lightener towards the ends and create it in a V shape and do the same on this section. Alright guys, so she is completely foiled in the back. We're now going to be moving on to the front area. One thing I want to point out is that back here we started off with 20 volume developer and the mohair white bleach. As we move over to the front, we're going to be boosting up our developer and going in with the mohair white bleach with 30 volume developer. And so that's just going to ensure that everything kind of processes at the same time, to the same level of lightness. Alright, so for the front, what I want to do is I want to create a lot of brightness through her hairline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 back-to-back baby light foils with no back combing. So I do want those to get closer to the root. So we'll start with the middle mohawk section. So to begin, we're going to be taking a very thin section in through the front here, and I'm just going to follow her natural hairline. So that's actually a little bit thick, so we're going to take even a thinner section. go ahead and clip the rest of the hair out of the way. Alright, so now we're just going to put a little bit of tension as we grab onto the section, and then we're going to do a very, very fine weave. Separate the hair. Put a foil in through there. Take our lightener, place down some product. And bring it pretty close to the root there. Once we've got that going, we want to fold our foil. Want to gently press down. I like to lift, bring my flap down a little bit. Make sure that it's all the way to the root so that we avoid any bleeding, and then we want to fold our foil very gently. There's our first section. So we're going to be taking another section there. Again, very thin, no back combing, just back to back. Very fine weaving. Once we have our 3 foils in place in the front, we're going to do the same thing on the side here. So for her hairline, notice that her hairline kind of curves in here. So what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be breaking it up into 2 sections, just to make sure that our foils go in evenly. Alright, I've finished doing my 3 foils in the front area as well as in the sides. We're going to continue foiling the rest of the hair. So for this mohawk section, we're going to be taking horizontal sections and completing the same technique we were doing earlier, where it was 2 back-to-back teasy baby lights followed by a teased highlight or a full panel. And we'll be doing the same thing for the side. For the side, we'll continue with diagonal sections working forward. I will finish that off camera and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so she is fully foiled. So now we're just going to wait for her to process, and then we'll shampoo her out, do a root smudge and tone her ends, and she'll be ready to go. Alright guys, and we're back. So we processed her for about 55 to about an hour. And so I've just shampooed and conditioned her. And so this is what we have going on now. I can already tell that this is going to have really nice blend. So that is one advantage of, you know, putting in the harder work at the beginning. So doing all that teasing, turning our brush sideways so that we can get more of that really nice blend. It'll make our job a lot less difficult when we come to this stage where we are gonna do the root shadow and we're gonna be toning the ends. Alright guys, so we are going to get ready to smudge her roots. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna avoid the blonde pieces we did through the front. So we want to create brightness around the face, so we don't want to darken those. What we're going to do instead is right behind the blonde section, we're going to start our application, and we're going to apply it down in like a water droplet shape or a tear shape, where it will start at the point in the front and kind of travel lower and lower through the back of the head. And so that'll just allow us to create some dimension, make sure that the blonde looks more sun-kissed and our brightness is through the bottom and around the face versus starting really up high. Alright, so for our application, like I mentioned, we're going to isolate the blonde in the front, as we want the most lightness we can get towards the face. We're going to begin applying our color from scalp to about 1/2 inch back. And we're going to continue that through the hair until we've applied it all over. Alright, so now that we have our smudge formula on the roots and it's been processing for about 5 minutes, we're going to run our lightest formula through the ends. And I do want to end up with the cooler result. So what I've mixed up is a level 10 neutral with a level 9 ash, and I'm going to be running that through the ends. So for this part, we're simply going to separate the hair, clip it out, and then run the color through the ends, like so. At this point, I just want to get the color on. I'll go back and comb it all together just to marry the colors. Right now, I'm gonna apply it pretty sloppy, if you will, and it's only because I want to get the color on as quickly as possible. Alright, now that we've got the root smudge and the end color together, we're simply just going to comb. And so for the purpose of combing is to ensure that all strands get even saturation, make sure that there's no spottiness. This is not only when toning, but also when applying a root touch-up or any other color. And you'll notice that I have not put toner on the front portion there. We're still going to let this sit for another 7 minutes or so, and then we'll apply the toner in the front and let it sit for another 5. We're going to rinse, shampoo, and bring her back to get her styled. Alright guys, and we are back. She has processed, we've shampooed her, and I am super happy with the results. We have a very ash tone blonde, which is exactly what I was going for. And so now we're going to prep her hair to get her blow out and styled. So we're going to spray some leave-in conditioner, we're going to cocktail that with hair serum, and we're going to blow her out, give her some nice loose waves, and we'll be back. Alright guys, and we're back. So this is the final result. I blew her out and gave her some fun texture with my flat iron. We got a nice icy beigey blonde. I love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Well worth the time that we spent. This took me about, I want to say about 4 hours. Of course, my video is not 4 hours long, and that's the magic of YouTube. So as we take a look here at the root, we have a nice blend, no harsh lines of demarcation, which is exactly what our clients want to see. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Ring the notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And don't forget to leave a comment. I want to know what you want to learn or what content you want to see. I'm more than happy to answer any questions because I'm here to help you on your journey to living your best hair. I'll see you next time. Bye.